This sounds like fiction, but it's completely real. In one isolated place on Earth, a single man lives surrounded by over 100 women, under rules most people wouldn't believe. And the reason behind it is even more shocking. Join us, and let's discover the real place where one man lives among 100 women. Let's go!
Number 12. Kodanyi, India's village of 400 twin pairs. Walk through the streets of Kodanyi, a small village in India's Kerala state, and you'll start seeing double, literally. This place has an unusually high concentration of twins, far exceeding the global average. In a community of just a few thousand people, there are over 400 sets of twins. That's not a typo, 400. Scientists have been scratching their heads over this for years. There's no clear answer yet. Some researchers suspect it might be linked to something in the local water supply. Others think it could be genetic, possibly related to the diet or some environmental factor unique to this region. What makes it even stranger is that this pattern only started appearing in the last 70 years or so. Before that, Kodanyi was just like any other village in India. Then suddenly, twin births started skyrocketing. Families that never had twins in their history began having them. Women who moved to Kodanyi from other areas started giving birth to twins at higher rates too. The locals don't seem bothered by it. They've embraced their unusual status. Schools have classrooms where multiple sets of identical twins sit side by side. Teachers struggle to tell them apart, especially when they dress alike. Weddings in Kodanyi often look like mirror conventions, with pairs of identical faces scattered throughout the crowd. The village even holds twin festivals, where hundreds of look-alike siblings gather in matching outfits. Doctors have run tests, researchers have analyzed blood samples, geneticists have studied family trees. So far, no definitive explanation has emerged. Kodanyi remains one of the great unsolved mysteries in human biology.
Number 11. Noiva do Cordeiro, the Brazilian town they said had 600 women searching for men. Social media loves a good fantasy, and the story of a town where women outnumber men 100 to 1 became one of the internet's favorite tales. The Brazilian community of Noiva do Cordeiro turned into the center of this narrative in 2014, when a misleading news report painted it as a desperate village of single women hunting for husbands. The story spread like wildfire across Facebook, Twitter, and countless clickbait websites. Photos from local festivals were repurposed and presented as evidence of this supposed female paradise. The images showed groups of women dancing, celebrating, and gathering in the town square, which only fueled the rumors. But here's the kicker: almost none of it was true. When National Geographic and other journalists actually bothered to visit, they found something completely different. The population sits around 350 people, and the gender ratio is basically equal. So where did all the men go? They didn't disappear, they're working. During the week, nearly every adult male leaves town to find jobs in nearby cities, returning only on weekends. This creates the optical illusion of a women-only community. The photos that went viral were taken on weekdays, when men were away earning money. The real story isn't about desperate women searching for husbands, but about economic migration and families adapting to survive. Yet the myth refuses to die. Every few months, the same false narrative resurfaces, with new photos and fresh claims.
I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item.
Number 10. Bengkala, Bali, the village where everyone speaks sign language. Tucked deep in the jungles of Bali sits Bengkala, a village where silence isn't a problem, it's just another part of daily life. An unusually high number of residents here are deaf, the result of a rare genetic condition passed down through generations. But here's what makes Bengkala different from anywhere else. Everyone in the village, deaf or hearing, speaks the same sign language. They created it themselves. It's called Kata Kolok, and it developed naturally over centuries as the community adapted.
There's no barrier between deaf and hearing residents. A farmer discusses his crops using hand gestures. A shopkeeper negotiates prices without saying a word. Kids play together, switching seamlessly between sign and speech. The village operates on complete equality. In most places, deaf people have to adapt to a hearing world. In Bengkala, the hearing world adapted to them. There's no stigma. No one gets left out of conversations. No one feels isolated. Daily routines look exactly like they do anywhere else. People work in rice fields. Markets buzz with activity. Families gather for meals. The only difference is that half the communication happens through hands instead of voices. You'll see elderly women chatting on porches, their hands moving rapidly. Teenagers joke around using signs. Even the hearing residents prefer signing in many situations because it's faster and more efficient. What Bengkala proves is simple but powerful. Disability is often just a matter of context. Change the environment, and suddenly there's no disability at all. Just different ways of communicating that work perfectly fine.
Number 9. Mount Athos, Greece. The holy mountain where women are banned for 1,000 years. Rising above the Aegean Sea on the northern coast of Greece stands Mount Athos, a place frozen in time. It's not just a mountain, it's a spiritual refuge, home to 20 ancient monasteries where monks have lived in isolation for over 1,000 years. The most striking rule? No women are allowed. Not now, not ever. The ban dates back to the 10th century and remains strictly enforced. Even female animals are prohibited, except for cats, which help control rodents. The monks believe this isolation brings them closer to God. They wake before dawn, spend their days in prayer, tend gardens, and preserve manuscripts older than most nations. Life here is simple and unchanging. Some have challenged the rule over the years, arguing it violates modern principles of equality, but the monks remain firm. To them, Mount Athos is sacred ground, untouched by the outside world. Few outsiders ever visit. Special permission is required, and only men can receive it. Those who do step into a place where time stopped centuries ago. Byzantine frescoes cover monastery walls. Chants echo through stone corridors. The pace of life is measured not in hours, but in prayers. The monks don't use modern technology. They live by candlelight and the sun's cycle. For them, this life is a choice, a commitment to devotion that requires absolute separation from the world. Mount Athos isn't trying to make a statement about women. It's simply preserving a way of life that has existed for a millennium, unchanged and uncompromising.
Uros floating islands, Peru's villages built entirely on water. High in the Andes Mountains, where the air is thin and the sky stretches forever, Lake Titicaca holds one of the world's most unusual communities. The Uros people live on islands they build themselves using totora reeds, a plant that grows in the shallow waters. These aren't small rafts, they're full-sized floating islands, some large enough to support entire families, schools, and watchtowers. The process of building these islands is constant work. Layers of reeds are stacked and tied together, creating a platform thick enough to support houses. As the bottom layers rot, fresh reeds are added on top. The islands can be moved if needed, towed to new locations with boats. This mobility once helped the Uros escape threats from rival tribes. Today, it keeps their culture alive. The Uros rarely step on solid ground. They fish in the lake, cook over clay ovens placed on stone bases to prevent fires, and paddle small boats made entirely of reeds. Everything they need comes from the water. Their entire world floats. Some islands welcome tourists, offering handmade crafts and a glimpse into their way of life. Others remain private, closed to outsiders. The Uros have lived this way for centuries, adapting to the lake's rhythms. When storms come, they secure their islands. When the water rises, they add more reeds. Their homes might look fragile, but they've endured longer than most cities. Life on the water isn't easy, but for the Uros, it's the only life they've ever known. They've mastered something most people can't even imagine: living without land.
Number 7. San Pedro Prison, Bolivia, the prison that works like a city. Deep in Bolivia sits San Pedro Prison, a place unlike any other prison on Earth. There are no guards patrolling the corridors, no one wears uniforms, no metal bars separate inmates from the outside world. Instead, San Pedro operates like a self-contained city behind walls. Prisoners don't get assigned cells. They have to buy or rent their living space. The wealthy inmates live in apartments with TVs, kitchens, and comfortable furniture. The poor sleep in overcrowded, dirty rooms. It's capitalism behind bars. Inside, prisoners run businesses. They sell food, repair electronics, and trade goods. Some even brew alcohol. There are restaurants, barbershops, and markets. Families live inside too. Wives and children stay with the inmates, creating a bizarre domestic situation where kids grow up behind prison walls. They go to school outside during the day and return at night. For them, San Pedro is just home. Order is maintained by the prisoners themselves. There are no official guards inside. If someone breaks the rules, the inmates handle it. This system creates a society within a society, complete with its own economy, politics, and social hierarchy. Tourists used to be able to visit San Pedro, guided by inmates who offered tours for cash. The prison became a strange attraction, a glimpse into a world where the rules of normal society don't apply. But it's not a pleasant place. Violence is common, corruption runs deep, and yet families stay. Children are raised. Life continues behind those walls, strange and unsettling as it may be.
North Sentinel Island, the forbidden island that kills visitors. Deep in the Indian Ocean lies North Sentinel Island, home to one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. The Sentinelese want nothing to do with the outside world, and they'll fight to keep it that way. When helicopters fly overhead, they shoot arrows at them. When boats drift too close, armed figures charge the beach. Even after the 2004 tsunami, when helicopters checked for survivors, the Sentinelese made it clear they didn't want help. No one knows their language. No one knows their population. No one knows their customs or beliefs. What we do know is that they've survived in complete isolation for thousands of years, and they plan to keep it that way. The Indian government has declared the island off-limits. An exclusion zone extends for miles around it. Fishermen who accidentally drift too close sometimes disappear. In 2018, an American missionary tried to contact them. His body was found on the beach, dragged by the Sentinelese after they killed him. The tribe doesn't want visitors. They don't want trade. They don't want technology. They want to be left alone. Scientists respect this. The island remains one of the last places on Earth untouched by modern civilization. No photos exist of daily life there. No recordings of their language. Just thick jungle, dangerous reefs, and silent figures watching from the trees. In a world where almost every corner has been explored and documented, North Sentinel Island stands as a reminder that some mysteries are meant to stay that way. Some places don't want to be discovered.
Number 5. Umoja Village, Kenya, the all-women village where men aren't allowed. In the arid plains of Kenya stands Umoja, a village where men aren't welcome. It was founded in 1990 by women escaping forced marriages, domestic violence, and female genital mutilation. The name means unity in Swahili, and that's exactly what these women built. There are no husbands here, no male authority figures. Every decision gets made collectively. The women farm, raise livestock, sell handmade crafts, and run the entire village themselves. Children grow up watching women in every leadership role. For them, this is completely normal. Men from nearby villages have tried to shut Umoja down multiple times. Some attempted to reclaim their wives by force. Others tried intimidation tactics. But the women stood firm, protecting each other and proving that strength doesn't require physical power. It requires unity and the refusal to back down. Umoja welcomes visitors interested in learning about their way of life. Tourists buy jewelry and crafts, providing income that keeps the village independent. The women share their stories, explaining why they left their old lives and why they'll never go back. The village operates like any other community.
Kids go to school, women tend gardens, elders pass down knowledge. The only difference is the complete absence of men. What started as a refuge has become a permanent home, a place where women control their own destinies without permission or compromise.
Number 4. Korowai Tribe, Papua, the tree people who live 100 feet above the ground. Deep in the rainforests of Papua, the Korowai tribe builds homes that defy logic. These aren't simple tree houses, they're entire family dwellings perched up to 100 feet above the jungle floor, supported by massive trees and accessed by vine ladders. Why so high? Protection from floods, insects, wild animals, and historically from rival tribes. The elevation also keeps them cooler and away from the worst of the jungle's humidity. Life in the canopy is its own world. Kids grow up climbing between homes, moving through the trees as naturally as other children walk down sidewalks. Families sleep, cook, and live their entire lives suspended in the air. The Korowai were only discovered by the outside world in the 1970s. Before that, they had minimal contact with anyone beyond neighboring tribes. Even today, many live deep in the forest, far from roads, electricity, or modern conveniences. Building a treehouse at that height requires incredible skill. The Korowai select specific trees, then spend weeks constructing floors, walls, and roofs from local materials. Everything comes from the forest. The structures sway in the wind but remain remarkably stable. Their connection to the jungle runs deep. It provides food, shelter, medicine, and materials for everything they need. Stories passed down through generations explain the forest's rhythms, which trees are safe, which animals to avoid, and how to survive in one of Earth's most challenging environments. Photos of Korowai treehouses have fascinated people worldwide, showing homes that look impossibly high and fragile, yet have sheltered families for generations.
Number 3. Vadoma Tribe, Zimbabwe's two-toed people. In the remote regions of Zimbabwe, members of the Vadoma tribe carry a genetic trait that has puzzled doctors and fascinated anthropologists for decades. Some people in this community are born with ectrodactyly, a condition where certain fingers or toes are missing or fused together. The result looks striking, feet that appear to have only 2 large toes, giving the tribe their nickname. This isn't some mysterious curse or supernatural phenomenon. It's genetics, pure and simple. The condition follows an autosomal dominant pattern, which means if one parent has it, there's a 50% chance their child will inherit it too. In an isolated population where people have married within the same group for generations, this trait became more common. Every second child in some families is born with this distinctive feature. The Vadoma don't treat it as a disability. For them, it's just part of life. People with ectrodactyly climb trees, walk long distances, and live completely normal lives. The shape of their feet doesn't slow them down. In fact, some say it helps them grip tree bark better when climbing. Scientists have studied the tribe extensively, not out of pity, but out of curiosity about how genetic traits persist in small populations. The Vadoma are not a different species or some evolutionary offshoot. They're regular humans who happen to carry a rare mutation that became visible because of their community's isolation. The condition doesn't define them, but it has certainly made them one of the most talked about tribes in Africa.
Coober Pedy, Australia, the underground town in the desert. In the middle of Australia's scorching outback, where summer temperatures regularly hit 110 degrees Fahrenheit, there's a town that solved the heat problem by going underground. Coober Pedy isn't your typical mining town. Most of it exists below the surface, carved directly into rock. The town became famous for opals, some of the world's most valuable gemstones. But with the sun beating down mercilessly above ground, early miners realized something. It's cooler below. So they started digging homes, churches, shops, and even hotels into the earth. Walking through Coober Pedy feels like entering another planet. There are underground restaurants where you eat surrounded by rock walls, museums built into caves, hotels where guests sleep in rooms carved from stone, with temperatures staying comfortable year-round without any air conditioning. Above ground, the landscape looks like Mars. No trees, no rivers, just red dirt and rock formations stretching to the horizon. The surface is so barren that NASA has used the area to test Mars rovers. But below, there's a thriving community. Miners still search for opals, digging deeper into the earth. Families raise children in underground homes that stay naturally cool. The town has become a tourist destination, attracting visitors curious about life beneath the surface. Some tourists stay in underground hotels, experiencing what it's like to sleep in rooms where the walls are millions of years old. Kubur Petty proves that when the environment refuses to cooperate, humans find creative solutions. Instead of fighting the brutal heat, residents simply moved below it.
Kubur Petty, Australia, the underground town in the desert. In the middle of Australia's scorching outback, where summer temperatures regularly hit 110 degrees Fahrenheit, there's a town that solved the heat problem by going underground. Kubur Petty isn't your typical mining town. Most of it exists below the surface, carved directly into rock. The town became famous for opals, some of the world's most valuable gemstones. But with the sun beating down mercilessly above ground, early miners realized something. It's cooler below. So they started digging homes, churches, shops, and even hotels into the earth. Walking through Kubur Petty feels like entering another planet. There are underground restaurants where you eat surrounded by rock walls, museums built into caves, hotels where guests sleep in rooms carved from stone, with temperatures staying comfortable year-round without any air conditioning. Above ground, the landscape looks like Mars. No trees, no rivers, just red dirt and rock formations stretching to the horizon. The surface is so barren that NASA has used the area to test Mars rovers. But below, there's a thriving community. Miners still search for opals, digging deeper into the earth. Families raise children in underground homes that stay naturally cool. The town has become a tourist destination, attracting visitors curious about life beneath the surface. Some tourists stay in underground hotels, experiencing what it's like to sleep in rooms where the walls are millions of years old. Kubur Petty proves that when the environment refuses to cooperate, humans find creative solutions. Instead of fighting the brutal heat, residents simply moved below it.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.